The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy 628 here today giving you a Theory Thursday. I know it's been a couple weeks, my apologies, but we are back and we are ready to take on our next question from one of my subscribers, being Devon, my good buddy. And well, he wants us to do a Theory Thursday on Cacturne. Will this scarecrow stay in NU? He has some great points. It has a decent ability, it's got decent typing, and it can be used in UU as a counter to Crowcoon. But with all that said, I have used it in UU, but does that make it good enough to be there, or will it remain NU? Well, in my opinion, I do think that Cacturne will remain NU. Now, like always, I do have my reasons, so we're just gonna go right into its stats here. So, my first point I'd like to make about Cacturne is definitely a good one. It is decent offensively for sure. It's got base 115 attack and base 115 special attack. Those are definitely hard hitting stats. And it has a decent move pool to go along with them. Although it has a lackluster speed, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but also here, where it's not able to have too much speed in order to face a lot of pokes, especially even if you have max speed, you do on the physical side have access to Sucker Punch. Also on the physical side you have access to Seed Bomb and Swords Dance, so it can definitely still be a threat. Now you can also have a special Cacturne, which is great as it has very versatile move pools in regards to offenses. So you do have access to Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, all on the special side, so it could even be mixed if you really want to make a wall breaker set. The point is, offensively, Cacturne can't be too messed around with unless you have something that definitely can outspeed or can definitely take a priority Sucker Punch. So Cacturne definitely seems like a threat in regards to offense, besides a pretty slow base 55 speed, but it definitely has something to counteract that, and that's just its defenses and typing in general. Sure, typing is decent in regards to being dark type. Dark type definitely got a huge boost this gen in regards to knockoff and in regards to no longer being resisted by steel, but most steel types in this tier already take grass stab pretty neutrally anyway, and plus Cacturne doesn't get access to knockoff, so that's definitely a minus for it. But in regards to actual defense, its grass dark typing gives it a total of 7 weaknesses, one including a quad weakness to bug and another weakness to fairy, which is of course new this gen. In regards to bug moves, U-turn is definitely popular just for gaining momentum from the other team, and bug buzz is also pretty popular in this tier. Although there's not too much fairy stab from a lot of pokes in this tier, it's still another weakness that Cacturne has to hold on to. Now with the correct ability and with its typing, Cacturne is able to resist 5 typings, but also be immune to 2 of them, being psychic and water as long as they have water absorb. Still, a huge issue with Cacturne that I haven't really mentioned yet is that it's extremely frail. It has base 60 defenses and base 70 HP. You can try putting max HP on, but it's going to be a super slow offensive mon. But if you put max speed, you are definitely not taking too many hits. Now Cacturne's strong, it's pretty versatile offensively, but it's definitely weak defensively, and that brings me to my last point, because people have found different ways to work with Cacturne because of this great offense, but also very weak defense, and that is meaning that it has a very nice versatile range in regards to offenses. I have seen a sash lead in many different ways, whether you want to be Swords Dance, Nasty Plot, or even you just want to lay up some spikes and have Sucker Punch to get some priority out there. I've also occasionally seen some sub SD sets, and sometimes there's just the fully offensive Life Orb Cacturne. In regards to damage calcing, Life Orb Cacturne is exactly what I'm going to talk about here. Now, one very defensive and well-recognized mon in this tier is Regirock, and although it carries Assault Vest a lot of the time, it has some very spectacular defense. Now, Cacturne has base 115 attack, and it's got Stab Seed Bomb, and usually a Life Orb coming toward Regirock's face. But when you do the calc of an adamant max attack Life Orb Seed Bomb from a Cacturne to just a max HP Regirock, it's a solid to a KO, sure, but even after rocks, it's not going to OHKO, and then a Regirock is probably going to be able to retaliate with an OHKO straight with a Drain Punch. and that's the problem with Cacturne being so frail. Although it does hit relatively hard, and you're probably going to have more speed investment than a Regirock in order to 2 a KO. But in general, there's just so many Pokemon that are able to take Cacturne's hits, especially when it's not boosted, even pokes that are weak to its stab, such as Regirock. And so with that said, in conclusion, even though Cacturne does hit fairly hard, with counters still in the NU tier, it should definitely still be placed there. Cacturne has a pretty nice niche in regards to having some nice setup moves and some nice dual stab and even a little bit of coverage and even having spikes as a lead. I still think that Cacturne doesn't have the bulk or typing necessary to really survive in tiers above it unless under certain circumstances. So with that said, I do hope you all enjoyed today's Theory Thursday. Please suggest more theories for next week, and thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.